Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. All these videos, they get posted on this subreddit. People post other stuff here too. It's a really great place to be. But the important stuff is I make updates throughout the day with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me questions about the slate. Anything you need, this will be linked down below. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter there. So, before we get into, I'm not going to sweat because I want to get this video out. There's some props on the board that I want to look at before they get bumped. So I'm making this video a little bit before the slate ends, but I'll recap my lineups in the next video. I can show you guys what my lineups are right here. This is my first lineup. Giannis Antetokounmpo gets blown out by the Golden State Warriors. Absolutely smashing. This lineup is going to cash very, very easily. My second lineup, instead of having Giannis, DeMar, and Niang, it has Kelly Oubre, John Collins, De'Aaron Fox, and LeBron James. Absolutely cooking. And I am going to be very mad if this game blows out. Go very, very mad. It was like a 20-point game last time I looked. But both my lineups should cash. The LeBron and John Collins one should do really, really well. So I will recap in tomorrow's video. And as far as prize picks went today, we absolutely nuked. I think we hit we went like 8-1 today or 9-1. I'm not entirely sure. But if you're looking for more in-depth DFS content, sportsbooks, prize picks, all that good stuff, I'll have my Discord link down below. Without further ado, I'm going to get through this video quick. Look out for my props video. There's some props that I definitely want to take. I don't want to risk them getting blown off the board here. So I'm going to fly through this, and then I'll have my props video out in probably about an hour. All right, Minnesota, cat out. I absolutely love Anthony Edwards here. I really, really like Rudy Gobert. I think they're two really, really good options in the mid-range. No cat, going to give them a huge usage bump here. Naz Reid should play more off the bench. I think he's a very solid option. Kyle Anderson should start at 4.3K, play over 30 minutes. He stands out as one of the better value plays in the slate. McDaniels is even solid. NAW is going to play a bit more, but my least favorite of that grouping. Mike Conley's in place. This whole team just looks phenomenal. Moving on to the Pacers. I don't like much here. Halliburton at sub 9K does seem a bit too cheap. A really tough matchup here going up against Minnesota. Still just a contrarian play for me. Pascal Siakam's fine, but this close in price to Halliburton, I'd much rather just get up to Halliburton there. Really tough spot here for Miles Turner. I don't think I'll be going there. TJ McConnell's overpriced. And then we do have math right now. I do think Aaron Nesmith is actually a solid value of 4.6K on this slate. He should have to play huge minutes here. So I don't mind Nesmith there. I don't know if I get to much else. Ben Shepherd's been playing a decent amount of late. I guess you can go there in large field tournaments at the flatman price. I don't mind that. Moving on to Brooklyn, another team that looks really, really good. Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, Ben Simmons out. Day'Ron Sharpe questionable. If Day'Ron Sharpe's out, I'm really, really high on Nicholas Claxton. I played him yesterday. He looks really, really good once again. If Day'Ron Sharpe's out, just makes his minutes a lot more secure. I love the spot here going up against Detroit. So Claxton, I really like if Sharpe's out. Mikal Bridges is going to have to do everything for this team. I think he's a solid option. Dennis Schroeder at 6.1K is too cheap. He should play high 30s minutes. Love the spot. Stuffing the stat sheet. Going to get you close to a double. He looks really solid. Dorian Finney-Smith is firmly in play. Lonnie Walker's probably going to have to get more run. He's in play for large field tournaments. Dennis Smith Jr. is even in play for large field tournaments. This team looks really good. Detroit, they've been running a much, much tighter rotation of late. I keep saying that every single video, but these main guys are playing huge, huge minutes. Them being Isaiah Stewart, Oscar Thompson, Jaden Ivey, Jalen Duren, Cade Cunningham. Not necessarily the best spot here going up against Brooklyn, but if you want to take shots on like a 5.5K Jaden Ivey, I don't mind that. He is just too cheap at that price point. So I'm pretty high on Jaden Ivey. I think Ozer's reasonable. I think I'd rather play Ivey. Isaiah Stewart at 4.9K. The price came down. He's playing close to 40 minutes. I think he's a decent value. I don't know if I get to much else, though. Moving on to Miami. Good spot here. I'm pretty high on Jimmy Butler. I don't think he's going to get any ownership tomorrow. He's been turning it on of late. It's almost playoff time. He's stuffing the stat sheet. He is also playing huge minutes. I really like this game for the Miami Heat as well, especially at the spot. So I am pretty high on Jimmy Butler and GPPs. Bam Adebayo is fine, but I think I prefer Butler. Terry Rozier just kind of there for me at 6.6K. I think I'd rather just play Jimmy Butler, right? Duncan has a ceiling. He's going to play huge minutes. I would say he's probably priced right, but he does have 40 fantasy point upside. So another intriguing GPP play. Jovic has been starting a reasonable value, but we definitely do have so much better value on this slate. Moving on to Dallas. Not a good spot here, but Luka is probable. I mean, Luka's always going to be the best spend up. No matter the matchup, he's matchup proof. Don't care. He's always going to be the best spend up on the slate. If he's low owned, even better. So yeah, Luka looks good there up at the top. Kyrie Irving's fine at 8-7. You guys know I always just like playing Luka. PJ Washington will play close to 40 minutes, but he doesn't really stand out. I would say these games have been a bit of an outlier. I'll just let people chase those games. I don't love much else here. Moving on to Toronto. So if you're playing for a competitive game here, there's a lot to like. I think people are going to be scared of the blowout risk here. I think Kelly Olynyk is still very solid at 6.8K. Stat sheet stuffer. They're going to run some offense through him. Very high floor with a ceiling. So I'm still really high on Kelly Olynyk. Emmanuel Quickley is a guy that I'm high on once again here at 8.4K if you're playing for a competitive game. Him or RJ Barrett going to be the go-to guys. Another guy that's stuffing the stat sheet. So Quickley, Kelly Olynyk stand out to me a ton. I don't even think they're going to be popular tomorrow. I like both quite a bit. RJ Barrett's fine, but I prefer the other two. Gary Trent is overpriced, not going to go there. Ochai Agbaji is questionable. I mean, not going to matter too much. Will probably just mean more run for guys like, Jordan Nwora, Grady Dick. I think Nwora is fine. Should play around 20 minutes, especially if Ochai Agbaji's out. Nwora could definitely be a decent value. Freeman Liberty. He was a guy that played a decent amount in the summer league for the Chicago Bulls. He was in the rotation, but I don't know if I could do it. Moving on to Phoenix. So Booker going to be out here. A guy I do like here is Jusuf Nurkic. I think he should be able to feast here. And without Devin Booker, he's been coast to closing games. So I would expect over 30 minutes here from Nurkic. So I think he's an interesting tournament option. Kevin Durant, I think, stands out as a really good spend up at 9.7K. His usage rate's going to be way up with no Booker. So if you're playing like someone from Toronto, maybe you run it back with one of these Toronto main guys. I think Beal is reasonable. He's going to play close to 40 minutes. So yeah, these Phoenix main three definitely look solid. Grayson Allen, Royce Neal are all priced right. I don't know if I go to anyone else though. Moving on to Boston, Jaylen Brown. That's the key here. If he's in, I don't like anything going up against Denver. It's a pretty tough spot here. So this team will basically be a cross-off for me. If you want to go to like Tatum, that's fine. If Brown's out, Al Horford will move into the starting lineup. He would be a good value at 5.1K. Now the price point's down on him as well. We know he's a stat sheet stuffer. Probably have to play over 30 minutes here. So yeah, would like me some Al Horford. Tatum would be a solid spend up, and then, Porzingis, White, Drew, they'd just be there for me. No one would really be priorities here for me if Brown's out, but they would all look a bit better. Moving on to Denver, I mean, Jokic is solid. I actually think I prefer Jamal Murray to Nikola Jokic. I don't mind the spot here either. I know Boston's really tough defensively, but 7.7K for Jamal Murray is just too cheap. He should be an 8.5K player. They've been running really tight rotation of late with Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic. So I think Jamal Murray is a play that I'm actually pretty high on. I know ownership tomorrow. He's just too cheap. MPJ, he's priced right, but going to play big minutes. He has a ceiling. Don't like Aaron Gordon. I'm not going to play KCP. Don't like much else here. All right, Spurs, Victor Wembanyama out. Zach Collins is the best value play on the slate. I would expect him to start, play over 25 minutes. If I was playing 150 lineups, I'd have damn near close to 150 Zach Collins lineups as the slate stands right now. I absolutely love him. Keldon Johnson, I really like. He's going to get a minutes uptick, usage uptick. Jeremy Sochan is a very decent value at 5.1. Trey Jones is firmly in play. Vassell going to have to do everything for this team. I like his ceiling in GPPs. Branham probably going to play a bit more. Champagnie probably plays around 20 minutes, a reasonable value. Chetty might get a bump, but I think I prefer like a Branham or Champagnie. Sacramento, they're going to be on a back-to-back tonight. It's a really good spot here, so if you're playing for a competitive game, I was all over De'Aaron Fox tonight. I played him in both lineups tonight. I would be all over De'Aaron Fox tomorrow. If you're playing for a close game here, I love De'Aaron Fox for GPPs, but I love Sabonis for GPPs as well. Can you play both together? I probably wouldn't, but I mean, I guess you could get away with it in large field tournaments, but I think both look great here. Malik Monk, we know their drill. He's going to play 30 minutes off the bench. He has a high ceiling. I would say the price point doesn't really stand out to me, but firmly in play. And then Keegan Murray's been playing close to 40 minutes tonight. I think he's decent. The matchup's really good. Herter's in play, Barnes in play, but not going to prioritize any of them. All right, last game of the night here. Chicago at Golden State. They play tonight. I think the main guys are fine. Vooch should be able to feast here in this matchup, so he'd probably be my favorite at 8.3K, but like Kobe White, DeMar, Io, I think they all look relatively similar at their price points. I think Vooch is probably my favorite. I don't see Drummond getting extended in this matchup, so I'm not going to go there. And then Alex Caruso is a very safe value of 5.3K, but I prefer the other value we went over. Moving on to the Warriors. So don't like anything here. Chicago, they play slow. They're tough. Steph's a fine GPP play. I don't like anything else. Probably just going to cross this team off outside of Steph. Now, if we get someone sitting on it back-to-back, maybe like a Wiggins, someone else possibly, then we can start considering plays. But yeah, this team is definitely unappealing. Hope you guys had a great night tonight. I will catch y'all in the next video. Look out for my prize picks video in an hour or two, and I will talk to y'all later.